What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and there's not going to be any outlandish intros like I usually do for this episode of Off the Script. I don't feel well this evening. It's 10:07 on a Friday night. I was just watching Jaws, because every time Jaws is on, I have to watch it, and I made myself a little something to eat. I didn't eat anything all day. I got up, I did my YouTube thing, I uploaded Off the Script for Friday, and then I worked on some Call of Duty stuff, and then I had to get ready to go to the dentist, and I had to go get a routine cleaning, which wasn't bad, and it wasted the majority of my afternoon, so I really couldn't do the things that I wanted to do, okay? But in the middle of all this, you know, stress started to develop. I got an email from my guy Connor. I'm going to leave you his information down below. I'm going to leave you his Twitter. He is a designer, an artist for Pro Wrestling Tees. He works with Pro Wrestling Tees to get designs out there for whoever needs them if they're going to be selling t-shirts for that particular website. He's amazing. He did the last Get Off My TV t-shirt with the 4 goons, and then he did work on the coming soon Roman Reigns design, which I was so fucking excited about to get that up on Pro Wrestling Tees. And he emails me back, and it really just fucked up my afternoon, man. It really just fucked up my entire day, pretty much. Pro Wrestling Tees is not able to sell my Get Off My TV t-shirts anymore because of the likeness to actual WWE superstars. So all the Get Off My TV t-shirts will not be sold on ProWrestlingTees.com. Okay? I am in the process of getting all my old designs, all the designs that Connor made for me. I got the original Big Show one, Dave Bogart, the guy that I was dealing with before Connor. He got me the original Big Show design for the version 1 of Get Off My TV, which I was greatly appreciative of. I emailed him, and he still had it, thank God. And I wish him the best, man. He's fucking awesome. And Connor has the Roman Reigns and the version 2 with Kane, Big Show, Ryback, and Braun Strowman. I don't know what I'm going to do as far as t-shirts go now. I'm still going to get t-shirts made. I will, no question, find a new home for myself. I will still be selling merchandise on Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm going to always keep that active, okay? Whether I get a generic Off the Script logo done in the near future, whether I get a new Goon City t-shirt, whether I get an OJD, t-shirt made or some shit like that, anything that's not within the likeness of a WWE superstar, I will sell on Pro Wrestling Tees. And I'm going to find another outlet that sells everything, including the stuff that I do sell on Pro Wrestling Tees. The Get Off My TV line is very popular, and it is something that we do here on this podcast. And I did not think it would come to this where I got to pull my most popular merchandise off of Pro Wrestling Tees because of this situation. Now, I find it very, very funny, the response that Pro Wrestling Tees emailed me. And I've had my merchandise up there for a year now, well over a year. It's like a year and a few months now. And they told me that I couldn't do it because of the likeness of the current WWE superstars. It's against what they do as an organization, as a website, etc., etc. And they told me they don't know how those designs slipped through the cracks. Now, I find that very hard to believe because every design that I paid for, every design that is paid for by whoever is on that website, gets sent to whomever, is reviewed, and it gets approved. So someone who is in charge over at Pro Wrestling Tees seen my designs when they were physically made. I paid for them through their designers. They approved my designs. Now, all of a sudden, since I have Connor do a fucking beautiful Roman Reigns Get Off My TV t-shirt, now that it's Roman Reigns, I just find this to be a fucking coincidence. Roman Reigns is the one that gets denied, and then everything before that is no longer able to be sold. I just find that very bizarre. And it really fucking stresses me out. I got a fucking headache all afternoon. It still won't go away. I'm doing this with a massive fucking headache right now. Hope you guys appreciate this. And I'm just stressed out because I want my channel to be the very best that it could. I take pride in all my podcasts. I take pride in all my WWE content, whether it's 2K16, whether it's Off The Script, whether it's the iTunes podcast. I take pride in my Call of Duty videos, my live commentaries, my regular commentaries, that everything's color corrected and it sounds good and there's good music and the music's not too fucking loud and my voice is not too fucking low. I take pride in what I do and what I upload on this website. And I take pride in my merchandise. And I don't want to harp on this too long because I know you guys are here for the news, but this bothers me, man. And it's very important to you guys because to those who have pledged, everybody was excited about this Roman Reigns t-shirt. You guys have pledged $25 or more to get a t-shirt of your choice mailed to you from me, signed. JD's signature on your t-shirt. You can wear that shit with pride. This bothers me, not only because I can't have my merchandise, seen by everybody, but I'm upset because now it's directly affecting you guys. And I want to promise you that I am going to get you your merchandise the very best way that I can. I don't know where I'm going to go. Hopefully I can have this all rectified and I can have my merchandise back up for sale somewhere by the end of the weekend. I'm thinking redbubble.com. That's the one place I'm thinking about doing right now. I don't know of any other websites. There's Barbershop Window and then there's 1 Hour Tees. They are all affiliated with Pro Wrestling Tees. It's all one umbrella. It's all one corporation. I can't do that. I can't go through those guys. I can still sell my generic merchandise on there, the Goon City and the Off The Script logo, but I can't sell my Get Off My TV t-shirts because they are now telling me that it's too likeness to a actual WWE contracted worker. And I just find it bizarre that it's the Roman Reigns design that fucking is denied and everything else that follows that, everything else that was before that now is being ruined because of this Roman Reigns design, which is the best one out of all of them, So I don't know what I'm going to do. Right now I'm thinking about Redbubble. If you guys have any other websites that I can sell my wrestling paraphernalia on, that I can upload these designs once I get the rest from Connor, what website should I go through? I'm leaving it up to you guys, man. Right now I'm thinking about Redbubble. I got everything set up on there. I'm just waiting for the green light to just let everybody know that this is where you can go now. Excuse me. I know Redbubble is a little bit more expensive than it was on Pro Wrestling Tees. I think it's like $21 for a t-shirt. I'm getting less commission now for everything that's sold on a website like Redbubble as compared to Pro Wrestling Tees. With Pro Wrestling Tees, I was getting a generous commission. Now I got to have pretty much that cut in half if I go anywhere else. But if you guys know of a really, really good place with good fabric and the Pro Wrestling t-shirts, man, for those who have them, you know that they're fucking awesome. It was thick cotton. Everything just looked good. The print was fucking nice. It felt good. If you know of any other place where I can put my merchandise on a website for you guys to just go whenever you want and just buy whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, you let me know. But for now, I'm thinking about Redbubble. There are still items on Pro Wrestling Tees if you guys still want to go and check that out. You got the Goon City and you got the Off The Script t-shirt. I believe the Big Show t-shirt is still up there. The Get Off My TV version 1 is still up there for some reason. They took the version 2 away with all 4 of them. They took that away and they denied the Roman Reigns design. But I'm not going to stop doing business with Pro Wrestling Tees because I love that company. Their merchandise and their product is fucking phenomenal. I have no ill will. I have nothing bad to say about Pro Wrestling Tees. I just find this very bizarre. That a year and a half went by and now, they're telling me they don't know how it slipped through the cracks. It's disheartening to me, man. They made, this is my concept, my brand, and they allowed me to put my brand on their t-shirts, and they were selling it. We sold a ton of t-shirts through Pro Wrestling Tees. A ton of t-shirts. And they made money off my design. I paid for the design. I paid for it to be made, but they made money off my design. And now, all of a sudden, they're telling me that it slipped through the cracks. They don't know how it slipped through the cracks. It shouldn't have been approved in the first place. Come on, man. It's very disheartening to a content creator when things aren't done properly. If it's a no, tell me right out of the gate it's a no. You know, now I have to wait another fucking year and a half for now to get to this point for it to be denied. And I can't upload any more fucking Get Off My TV t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. Now I gotta struggle and fucking find another outlet to sell my merchandise where nobody's gonna give me a fucking problem. You know? I just find it very bizarre that it happened with the Roman Reigns. But I have no ill will towards Pro Wrestling Tees at all. I still love what they do. I love their product. You know, they're affiliated with WrestleCrate. I have no ill will, nothing bad to say about Pro Wrestling Tees. In fact, I want you guys to reach out to Connor. If you need any t-shirts made, he's got a generous price. He does fantastic fucking work, as you guys seen firsthand with the Roman Reigns design and the version 2 of Kane, Big Show, Ryback, and Braun Strowman. You guys love that t-shirt, and you guys were ready to fucking open up your wallets for the Roman Reigns design. He does great fucking work, man. I'm going to leave you his Twitter down below. You want to reach him, you need a design, he's got a generous asking price, fantastic work. You go to him, because he's generous enough and gracious enough that I asked him, dude, I know I can't upload these designs to Pro Wrestling Tees, but can I still work with you because I love your fucking designs? He said, yes, man, I'll help you out. And that's fucking fantastic, man. I love that he's still willing to help me make designs so that I can get it out there wherever I want to upload these designs to and get them sold. So if you guys want to get your designs sold, I'm going to leave you Connor's information down at the very top of the description. You go check him out if you do need a design at all. If you want to sell some merchandise, if you want to get a logo on a t-shirt, whatever. I mean, he does everything. So go check him out. And that's my story, man. I'm just very, very disheartened by this whole thing. And I just wish things were a little bit differently. So that's the story. I'm thinking Redbubble, but if you guys got any other better suggestions for me, you let me know, all right? So thank you for listening to me. I know I went on for about fucking 10 minutes, but it is what it is, man. It's very important to me, and this is my brand. I want to let you guys know what's going on. But I feel all right. I got, you know, other than a fucking headache. And we got WWE news to talk about. If you missed my Extreme Rules preview and predictions, that was uploaded yesterday, Off the Script, episode 118, part number 1. You could check that out. That's linked down below. And I'll leave you an annotation in the video as well if you guys want to go check that if you missed it. We talked about Extreme Rules, all the matches, my breakdowns, my opinions on everything. Today we're going to talk about Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon. And I mentioned this on yesterday's video. AJ Styles, Reigns, you know that's the main event. Vince McMahon is ready to give up on the Roman Empire. This is a rumor making the rounds on the dirt sheets this weekend. I don't know how true this is. I don't know if I can believe this at all. I honestly, I don't. I don't believe it. I don't think Vince McMahon is ready to give up on Roman Reigns. You know, Roman Reigns, he's had a lot of work done to him. You know, the people have gone out of their way to make this guy look good. Vince McMahon was one of those individuals that he had to come back himself to WWE TV to get him over and get the reaction that he has wanted for Roman Reigns. And it happened one night in Philadelphia. Other than that, it hasn't been the same since. It's no secret that Vince McMahon is very high on Roman Reigns, and his current role for the company is proof of that. But it's the position that is still being highly criticized, and there are rumors of it impacting others. Last week there was some criticism, about how WWE has been booking Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows since they arrived on the main roster. That has led to some very strong feelings, and it could impact Reigns' push. According to a report from DailyWrestlingNews.com, the criticism about the booking of Anderson and Gallows is creating a difference of opinions between many WWE officials, including Vince and Triple H. Apparently, the game, Triple H, is still pushing to make Roman look as strong as possible. A lot of that is probably because if WWE gives up on Roman now, it's going to be very difficult to get him back to the top based on the fans' reactions. However, Vince McMahon could potentially be backing off of Roman Reigns. It's not confirmed by any means, so take this with a grain of salt, okay? That's what I usually say when I don't fully believe a news article. Take it with a grain of salt, but it's not confirmed. But there is a feeling that Vince McMahon is growing tiresome of pushing Roman and that he feels the experiment has failed. This may actually lead WWE drastically changing their plans with John Cena and Seth Rollins returning. In other reports, Vince McMahon is said to be done with WWE trying to get Roman Reigns over as the top babyface of the company, and is just ready for them to move on. Triple H is still firmly behind Roman Reigns as the WWE Champion, but Vinnie Mac wants someone different in the spotlight. This could lead to a Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, and other NXT names being called up sooner rather than later. With the head of WWE losing faith in its champion and the number one contender dealing with a number of injuries, it's rather difficult to look at the Extreme Rules main event in a positive light. If AJ Styles is truly dealing with injuries that may keep him out for any length of time, it's not going to make sense for him to win the title at Extreme Rules. If Vince McMahon has truly given up on Roman Reigns, he may end up dropping the WWE title shortly after the upcoming pay-per-view. It's really not great news for the company as they head into a big event, but things could be cleared up by the time the next week's Monday Night Raw rolls around. Looking back at the first ever Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast that aired live on the WWE Network, Austin's guest was Vince McMahon, the chairman of WWE. And he said that the last WWE superstar to grab the proverbial brass ring was John Cena. Cena has been the most polarizing performer the company has seen on its roster in over a decade, and by a wide margin. Vince determined that Roman Reigns would be the second coming of Cena some time ago, but in both instances, the reactions they receive aren't exactly what McMahon drew up. Vince McMahon handpicked Roman Reigns to be the new face of the company as they began their transition to this new era at the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. Vince and the other WWE officials chose Reigns to win the 2015 Royal Rumble and then headline last year's WrestleMania. Those decisions were leaked out months prior, and they ran with them despite fan backlash and obvious cries for other superstars like Daniel Bryan to get that push. The fans have revolted against Roman Reigns ever since then. But he's been in back-to-back WrestleMania main events with another title defense scheduled for Extreme Rules this Sunday. It seems that Vince McMahon hasn't heeded his own advice as we look back at an interesting quote he told Stone Cold Steve Austin during that memorable debut podcast. And I quote, this is right from Vince McMahon on that very podcast, in which you can find on the WWE Network. The audience makes or breaks a star. You put everything you can, all the resources in the world behind someone. If the audience doesn't want someone to be a star, someone they don't believe in, him or her, it's not going to happen. End quote. Vince McMahon said it, people. We've been saying this, not in those exact words, for months, for years. People don't want it. People do not want Roman Reigns. Vince McMahon said it himself. If people do not want someone to be a star, if the audience doesn't want someone to be a star, someone that they don't believe in, it is not going to happen. In every sense of the word, that is 100% fact. Everybody wanted Daniel Bryan. What happened? He became the WWE Champion, and he was a fucking bona fide superstar. CM Punk, everybody wanted him. He became a bona fide WWE superstar. He made his name in WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he made his name in the WWE after years of WCW and ECW and not feeling that he's getting the recognition that he deserves. It took one character transition, one moment winning King of the Ring, and that catapulted his career. He eventually went on to be the biggest WWE superstar of all time. The Rock. The Rock went on to be fucking WWE champion after starting off like a Roman Reigns with the Rocky Maivia coming out with the fucking blue strands on his elbow pads and fucking this just ugly getup that he had going on. And he eventually became the second biggest WWE superstar of all time. You know? I think Stone Cold is number one. Rock is number two. Bret Hart. Shawn Michaels. You know? These are people that the fans wanted. And in every sense of the word, they succeeded because they had all the support of the people who watched WWE. Roman Reigns does not have all the support of people who watch the WWE. People want him to get off the TV more times than not. I don't understand why anybody would cheer Roman Reigns in the position that he's in. You have to be oblivious to the product. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be a fucking off the script. I'm not saying everybody needs to listen to a podcast. I'm not saying everybody's got to listen to a Jim Ross or a Solid Monster or a fucking Steve Austin and just get that cutthroat attitude, right to the point, this is how it is, mentality. Obviously there are youngsters out there who still, this is who they idolize. This is who they look up to. Those are the people that are going to idolize Roman Reigns because they don't know any better. And we make fun of it. We call them goons and we make fun of the fucking comments. All for entertainment purposes. But I understand why they do it. There's a difference. I don't criticize them because I'm here being a heartless fucking douchebag. I understand why they go on WWE websites and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I know why they do it. Now, if you're someone my age, and you're saying the shit that you are on WWE social media websites, then we got a fucking problem. But if you're under the age of fucking 12, if you're in the age brackets of 10 to 15, I'd say it's passable, it's acceptable. Those are the people that want to see Roman Reigns. People like me and you, we don't want to see Roman Reigns. We don't want anything to do with Roman Reigns as the WWE champion. We know for a fact he doesn't deserve it. We know for a fact that he doesn't belong in the position that he's in. And I'm not sure I fully believe this story. Vince McMahon was the one who lobbied for Roman Reigns to get to this point. Vince McMahon is the one set in his ways. We don't see change on Monday Night Raw. Why don't we see change? It's because of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is the one waving the fucking magic wand. If he wants something to happen, he is the one that will make it happen. He doesn't want any change. So why am I going to believe this news article about Vince McMahon wanting to give up on Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon thinking Roman Reigns is a failure when nothing else about the product has changed? So Vince McMahon must be content with what is happening here. He's content with the shitty Monday Night Raws we're getting each and every week. He's content with the failing Roman Reigns experiment. If things were changing for the better on Monday Night Raw, then I would be more open to believe that Vince McMahon really wants to change this Roman Reigns experiment. Maybe he's going to pull the plug on this Roman Reigns experiment. I can't see that. I can't see that happening. When there's change in other assets, when there's change in other aspects, I should say, of Monday Night Raw and the WWE, then I'll be more open to believing what is written here. Until then, take it with a grain of salt. I think Vince McMahon is just as guilty as Triple H, if not more guilty. Because he's the one who, before Triple H even got involved, was fucking in the fucking fire. He jumped into the fire to get this shit over by himself because he knew Roman Reigns couldn't do it himself. And what happened? He played the fucking puppet master. People in Philadelphia were cheering him. Everybody was like, oh my God, what a great Raw. Roman Reigns is on his way to being the big face. No, it failed. I knew it would fail. You're not going to fucking go out there for one night and change my mind. Vince McMahon is to blame just as much as Triple H is. And I'm shocked at Triple H. I really am. For someone who understands what we want as far as NXT, and you take a look at NXT and he's appealing to the fucking people who, typically don't like what's going on with WWE on the main roster. And they don't like what's going on Raw and SmackDown. These are the people that look to Triple H to confide in him, for him to do the right thing, to him to make the right executive decision here. Triple H wants Roman Reigns in the spot that he's in, and he fully backs this Roman Reigns experiment, even though they know they're sending him out there, and he's a sitting duck every time he steps through that curtain. Why? I just don't understand why Triple H is that way, but when he's in NXT, he's giving us what we want. Why are you not giving us what we want when it comes to Monday Night Raw? I just don't get it. So I'm very confused by this. I really am. Vince McMahon giving up on the Roman Empire. What do you guys think about this? Do you think this could lead to Roman Reigns and this experiment being, just fucking done and over with? Is Rollins going to come back and get the title? Are they going to give the title to John Cena? They bring Cena back and they thrust him right into the main event? I don't know. What does this mean for Finn Balor? Is Finn Balor going to come up to the main roster and feud with Roman Reigns, take over the Bullet Club, and do something AJ Styles couldn't do? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. You guys let me know. You sound off in the comments. I just don't know if I can fully believe it. But all we know is that AJ Styles is hurt. He's going into Extreme Rules banged up. I do not see him winning the WWE Championship. As for AJ Styles, WWE very concerned about AJ Styles' health. On Sunday night, AJ Styles will challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. This we know. It was revealed recently that Styles was being given time off to heal for his rematch with Reigns because he's dealing with some nagging injuries and an ankle injury. This has a lot to do with WWE officials, and their finger is on the panic button. According to a report from DWN, there is a lot of concern from WWE officials about AJ Styles' health. The feeling seems to be that AJ may not be able to handle a full-time WWE schedule. The rematch between Reigns and Styles on Sunday is expected to have some intense spots, and if AJ is banged up, it's possible that he could get injured on Sunday. And that is the last thing the roster needs, especially considering that Styles has already been established very quickly as a top face in the company. There has been talk that AJ Styles' health might end up having WWE use him a bit less following the Extreme Rules event. In fact, there has also been talk of bringing Finn Balor up from the NXT brand earlier than expected. The plan was always for him to come up within the next few months, but the most expected time for him to come is late June after the NXT TakeOver Revenge event, in which he's going to be defending, or trying to reclaim his NXT championship against defending champion Samoa Joe inside a steel cage. AJ Styles is currently working through ankle issues and a nagging back injury, so WWE might end up writing him off of TV following the Extreme Rules event. The plan was for him to work with Roman Reigns until the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. After that, Seth Rollins was expected to be a major contender for the world title until SummerSlam later this year in August. WWE may write Styles out and bring Rollins in sooner to take the belt off Reigns, but that is not confirmed and is up in the air for now. The plan for Finn Balor might be pretty simple if you think about it. He could very well take Styles out. He can lead the Bullet Club and do something that AJ Styles could not do against Roman Reigns. Balor was always expected to be the long-term leader of the club, but WWE put Styles and this group together with Anderson and Gallows due to their history together in New Japan. They didn't want to waste the duo by having them stay out until they were ready to bring Balor up, so they decided to have them work with Styles simply to have something major to do until Finn got the call-up. I don't like that at all, man. Patience is key here. And this is why I always state that Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble was always in the bag. Having Styles in the Rumble was unnecessary. He didn't do anything, and he came out of it doing nothing but a feud with Chris Jericho. If you saved him, now you're looking back at it, and you know I'm going to say I'm right. Because now, this is an issue. WWE could have held Styles off of TV January, most of January, February, March, April, and then that one night after WrestleMania, right, on Monday Night Raw, that's when AJ Styles could have debuted. Then you wouldn't be looking at this situation going into April, May, June, July, all the way to SummerSlam. You wouldn't be looking at that. My idea was to debut him with no prior WWE in-ring experience, no debuts, no fucking, showcases on Raw, nothing with Jericho, nothing. He would debut the first time we see Styles on Raw, right after WrestleMania. You wouldn't be concerned about his health then. You would have given him 3.5 months to recuperate, to rest, to get his body right, to get a surgery if he needed to. Then you bring him in. And even then, when you bring him in, he's not going to be doing anything. He's not going to be doing anything right away. That's even more time for him to recuperate from a back injury or an ankle injury or an elbow injury or a wrist injury. Whatever the fuck this guy's got bothering him. Because you got Anderson and Gallows right there with him debuting, and they would run the fucking show with Styles being the fucking puppet master. This is what I stated months ago. But nobody believes me when I say shit. Nobody says, JD, that's a great idea. You all want to say, oh, I don't want to see the Shield versus the Bullet Club. That's fucking terrible. That's not going to work. Now everybody's reporting. Everyone under the fucking sun is reporting about AJ Styles being hurt. If you kept him out for the fucking 4 months that I wanted you to keep him out, to debut him correctly, you wouldn't be talking about his health now, would you? And you would have still had your Extreme Rules fucking pay-per-view main event. You would have had that and Money in the Bank and Battleground all the way up to the Survivor Series. You would have had a program built for you. And you wouldn't be talking about his injuries now before this match on Sunday. The fuck do I know, though? I'm just some goon on YouTube. Finn Balor would take out Styles following the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which would allow for Styles to take time off and rest his injuries, then allow him to come back near SummerSlam for a program with Balor and the club later this year. This would force WWE to bring up Balor earlier than expected, but that might have to do at this point. He was rumored to be at the May 23rd episode of Monday Night Raw, which we talked about last week, so that could be the time we see him take out the Prince of Phenomenal. I don't know why these dirt sheets just add this cheese, the Prince of Phenomenal. Who the fuck writes like that, man? Seriously, AJ Styles. I'd rather take AJ Style over the fucking Prince of Phenomenal. What the fuck is that, man? The Prince of Phenomenal. Jesus Christ. While AJ Styles did confirm that he was having ankle trouble, many believe the back issues are worse than Styles is letting on. Obviously, Styles does not want to have any trouble with injuries right now, as he is in WWE and in a top spot. Sadly, he was hurt while working in New Japan, and it just happened to cause him trouble as he came into the company. While WWE does offer him a safer style than New Japan, Styles is not the type of guy to do things halfway, which is what might need to be done while the injury remains an issue. He does not want to be removed from major material WWE has given him lately, so there is some pride on the line here as well. Regardless, it might be the best to give him time off following Extreme Rules simply to rest up, which is something he didn't have much time to do following his departure from New Japan earlier this year. Again, whatever I just stated to you guys about him debuting first and foremost on Monday Night Raw, so we don't have to worry about this. No, WWE wanted him to bring everything he had into the Rumble and then go on to a fucking feud that meant nothing to anybody with Chris Jericho, which will be forgotten by the end of the fucking year. But who am I? I'm a goon. I don't know anything. So, AJ Styles banged up. We could have him lose and then take some time off to recuperate and rest his nagging injuries. We might very well see Finn Balor within the next week on WWE television. It's going to be a fun time to see and wait and see what happens. But as far as this feud goes, man, they zoned me out weeks ago. I don't care. They made the club look like shit. I just don't give a shit about anything that's going on with this storyline. So the quicker it ends to me, I think the better. Bring Balor up, and let's see what happens with that. It's going to be very interesting to see what WWE does with Finn Balor. They couldn't book AJ Styles in the club correctly. You're going to fucking... You're going to think these guys are going to promote Finn Balor and utilize him correctly? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it, man. Look at everybody else that's on the fucking main roster. That's not Roman Reigns. What's happening to them? Nothing. WWE just doesn't care enough to book guys correctly. And with Finn Balor, I'm telling you right now, you cannot fuck this up. They fucked up Styles, they fucked up Gallows, they fucked up Anderson. In 1 month, they fucked it up. If you fuck up Finn Balor, I don't think the fans are going to be as forgiving. I'm telling you right now. So, look forward to that. Finn Balor could be making his way to the WWE main roster very, very soon. 2 more pieces of information here before we end this part 2. I got news on Kevin Owens, which you guys are going to be very, very pleased with. And I got news on Emma and her back injury. Okay, we'll start off with Emma. Even in the recent news, or even with the recent news of John Cena, Seth Rollins, and others finally returning to WWE programming, and that is being soured now by even more injuries to the current performers. You got AJ Styles potentially injured. It's like the injury bug is just being passed around from performer to performer, and eventually everyone is going to have a turn. It was just announced earlier this week that Emma is the next superstar to go down with an injury. Only hers is very serious. WWE.com is reporting that Emma suffered a serious back injury, more specifically, has a ruptured disc that will require surgery, so she's out of action for the foreseeable future. The following statement was made on WWE.com about Emma's injury. WWE.com has learned that Emma suffered an injury during a WWE live event and will need to undergo surgery in order to correct the problem. I quote, Emma has a ruptured disc that will require her to have surgery, explained by WWE ringside physician Dr. Chris Robinson. She came to us in a great deal of pain, which seemed to be increasing. She was then given an MRI, which revealed that further action would need to be taken. Unfortunately, the superstar's estimated recovery time cannot be determined until her procedure is complete. Please check back with WWE.com for more details as they become available. Emma re-debuted in the WWE, as you guys know, following the Divas Revolution, and was booked as the company, as it was taking the company by storm. But just by looking at the depth chart in the division, it seemed clear she was still behind the likes of Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, Paige, and Natalya, and others in the pecking order. But her newfound commitment and her persona won over many WWE officials so much so that was the point. They were given her and discussions involving her winning the Women's Championship in the very near future. So there was talks about, her winning the Women's Championship eventually, because WWE officials were so high on Emma's work ethic to get her character back into the good graces of not only the fans, but everybody in the bank. It was just a great transformation. Until that happens, WWE was packaging Emma with Dana Brooke, initially as a way to replace Naomi and Tamina, who are both out with injury. Their double teaming on television would eventually lead to Becky calling out a partner, or calling on a partner to even the odds to set up a payoff match in a tag team fashion. That partner was expected to be Sasha Banks. And that feud would eventually catapult Sasha into the championship picture, where she'd be the one to dethrone Charlotte, most likely at SummerSlam. Another injury is not what the women's division needs, or the entire WWE at this point. So Emma's status will certainly be worth monitoring, man. It sucks. You just felt it on WWE TV that Emma was just hitting her stride. And now they brought up Dana Brooke with the hopes that pairing them together as a duo would not only do Dana Brooke good, but it would do Emma good. And they wanted to rekindle that partnership that they had on NXT that worked so great on the main roster. And I was looking forward to seeing more of that on the main roster, man. This little glimpse of NXT on the main roster here and there. A little bit of NXT sprinkled throughout the main roster, man. I like that. And now with Emma out, is that really going to expose Dana Brooke? Because Dana Brooke, if you really think about it, and this is no knock on Dana. I enjoyed Dana, okay? I think she worked better with Emma. I don't know how she's going to do alone, but Dana Brooke was always behind Emma. Emma was the workhorse of that team. Yeah, she was always in the shadows, and I know she was hurt. I know there was much she couldn't do. But even when she was healthy, she was always in the shadows of Emma. Emma was always the one showing, what the team is made of. It was always led by Emma. And now that Emma is not there, what is Dana Brooke going to do? Is she going to sink or is she going to swim on the main roster? I don't know. I think Dana Brooke is talented enough that she's going to swim. She's not going to sink. Now, she needs to take this seriously. She doesn't have Emma there to protect her anymore. So I don't know what WWE is going to do as far as booking Dana Brooke. She needs to get it together. She needs to, settle down, and she needs to hone her craft, and she needs to step up to the plate, and she needs to hit a home run here. Because if anything, Dana Brooke is still green in the ring. You can't go out there many, many weeks in a row and expose your weaknesses to everybody. There's no more hiding behind Emma. You're a big girl now. You're on your own now. You got to show us what you're made of. Okay? I know she can do it. I like her look. I think she's great. I love the attitude. I love the gimmick. I think she's going to add a lot to the women's division. I just hope that with Emma out, she can stay afloat. And when Emma comes back, things will be rekindled again, man. But Emma's suffering a serious back injury. It will require surgery. We will not know how long she's going to be out until the surgery is complete. And finally, guys, to end this week's part 2 of Off the Script, Vince McMahon, been mentioned a lot in this episode, very high on Kevin Owens right now. Main event push could be coming soon for Mr. Owens. It was reported recently that Vince McMahon is growing tired of the Roman Reigns experiment. If Roman's push is about to dwindle, that is only going to fall into the lap of another WWE superstar. This Sunday, Kevin Owens faces one of four men that will be involved in the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship. If Owens doesn't win the title at Extreme Rules, don't worry, because WWE may have much bigger plans for Kevin Owens. According to a report from DWN, DailyWrestlingNews.com, Kevin Owens has been impressing a lot of WWE officials lately due to his work in the ring and his promos and on the microphone. One such person that has turned into a very big supporter of Owens is Vince McMahon. As expected, McMahon initially had issues with Owens' look at one time, with his weight, with his overall just fucking complete package. But now he's become very high on Owens' abilities, which I knew he would because Owens is just too good. And you see how good Owens is getting. When you seen Owens, you knew he was good immediately when he debuted against John Cena. You knew he was good. You look at him now, and you see someone who is that much better. You see the progress he's making. It's not that you don't see it. You know for a fact he's more confident in his abilities. He's more confident the way he speaks. He's more comfortable on TV and on Monday Night Raw and everything that he does. And he's great in the ring. And that alone is a fucking victory. Being in the WWE for only 1 year. And now you got Vince McMahon, according to reports, on your side as a very big supporter. Big things are coming for Kevin Owens. Like I said, as expected, McMahon initially had issues with Owens' look at one time, but he's become very high on Owens' abilities. Owens is currently penciled in for a main event push whenever his current feud with Sami Zayn ends. It is not known yet if WWE has plans to push Kevin Owens into the world title picture immediately, but there are some who support this idea of him getting to that level. One theory that has been thrown around is having Owens win Money in the Bank, which would instantly give him credibility as a top talent and allow WWE to push him as a main event performer without having to automatically throw him into the world title scene right away. They could always wait a bit for that and have him take the title later on, especially if the plan is to make him a top heel in the WWE. Right now, no one knows what WWE wants to do with Roman Reigns, who is the most unpopular babyface in years. The situation is further complicated by the fact that Seth Rollins will not be able to return and work as a heel legitimately due to the love he has from his fans at this point in his career. No way Rollins is coming back as a fucking heel. He's coming back as a babyface. With the need for a top heel being present, Kevin Owens more than qualifies for this position. The problem is he cannot be seen as that without winning a WWE World title or two. Due to this, we could see him win Money in the Bank and cash in later on in order to help him build himself as a top heel with the company. I'm sure a lot of you guys are, raving about this. Kevin Owens winning Money in the Bank, I think that's a fantastic idea, but you got to look at it this way. Seth Rollins could automatically win Money in the Bank, John Cena could win Money in the Bank. Bray Wyatt is still out from injury. He can win Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn, wherever Sami Zayn goes, Kevin Owens will be there and vice versa. Sami Zayn could win Money in the Bank. Cesaro can win Money in the Bank. A returning Randy Orton can win Money in the Bank. There's a lot of people that WWE can give the Money in the Bank to. But if you really boil it down, Kevin Owens is probably the right guy for the job. I'm going with the top three, in my honest opinion, to win Money in the Bank this year. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Bray Wyatt. A lot of people are forgetting about Bray Wyatt, and you can't, because he's going to be back eventually. He's not going to be out too much longer. He'll be back any week now. And what are you going to do with Bray Wyatt? How are you going to make him important? You're going to feud him with Lesnar? You're going to feud the Wyatt family with Heyman and Lesnar? I don't know. I think WWE is so over that. I think the fans are over that. Having Bray Wyatt win Money in the Bank would just be as epic as Kevin Owens winning Money in the Bank. Because I think Kevin Owens is at a point in his career right now where fans are fucking frustrated and they want to see success from this guy. 3 years in the making. Kevin Owens has been there 1 year. Yes, we know he's great. We know he's going to be at the very top of WWE eventually. But maybe you give it to Wyatt. Maybe you give it to a returning Rollins. And Owens can challenge for the title later this year. WWE certainly has some, room to maneuver here, but if Kevin Owens wins Money in the Bank, you won't hear a fucking peep from me. I think that would be a great idea. I don't know what they're doing with this Roman Reigns situation, though. This is the third report now that stated Vince McMahon is frustrated over Roman Reigns in the position that he's in, and he may want to pull the plug, you know? Even if you do look at it, and Reigns is still the champion, he's not going to have many people to feud with. If you're going to continue pushing him as a babyface, you know, who the fuck knows if babyfaces and heels even exist in WWE right now? But as far as I know, WWE thinks he's a face. Who are you going to feud him with? There's no heels on the roster. The only heel credible right now that you have is a Kevin Owens. So, I don't know what WWE is going to do. It's going to be very interesting to see how they fix this mess, man. The entire main event scene right now and everything around Roman Reigns is a fucking mess. This entire thing is just a sloppy mess, man. And it's not only affecting the WWE main event scene, it's affecting the entire fucking company, if you really look at it. If you really dissect it, Roman Reigns being the champion is a disease that's infecting the entire fucking company. And it needs to be fixed. It needs to be cleaned up. How WWE goes about that, I don't know. But Vince McMahon is high on Kevin Owens right now. He, right now, could be an early odds-on favorite to win Money in the Bank in June. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for listening to me and watching me on Off the Script this Saturday. This is part 2, episode 118. I got more news, man. I got more news on Vince McMahon bringing Del Rio and Paige's relationship to TV. Charlotte might get involved. I got news on Sasha Banks and why she's being kept off TV for long-term storyline reasons. Velvet Sky headed to the WWE. A women's tournament apparently is being worked upon in the WWE. Major real-life tension between Paige and Charlotte over Alberto Del Rio. And backstage updates on Drew Galloway and EC3's promo at Evolve 61. Did Triple H clear the promo? I don't know. I don't know, man. So we're going to find out about that. I'm going to give you my opinions on that. All that plus so much more. There may be a part 4, man. I'm sitting on a lot of news right now, and there's more news that I see on my web browser that I have not even fucking looked at yet. But there may be a part 4 for Off the Script. I'll keep you guys updated as to what I do on Sunday's show. But until then, guys, thank you so much. Again, let me know where I should sell my t-shirts, man. The majority of my t-shirts, where am I selling them? I'm thinking about Redbubble, but I want you guys to look out for me and let me know what is going on. What do you think is best for this podcast, man? I'm still going to be on Pro Wrestling Tees, but everything, where am I going to upload and sell everything at once? You guys let me know. Twitter, YouTube, WrestleCrate, Pro Wrestling Tees, Patreon, continue to fucking donate, continue to sponsor, continue to pledge. Thank you to everybody that pledged yesterday, man. Each and every one of you, man. Thank you so much. Continue to do so. You are the reason why this show exists, and you're the reason why I'm on here, man. If I didn't have you guys, I would not be doing this as hard as I am, man. So thank you all so very much. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for everything. I'll be back on Sunday with more news and rumors off the script for Extreme Rules Sunday. Part number 3 of episode 118. I'm JD. Hit that thumbs up, man. Seriously, hit that fucking thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below, and I'll see you all on Sunday morning for part 3 of Off the Script. Until then, take care.